I promised you a virtual date with a climate scientist to unpack this topic in a way like never before. And the way we're going to do that is actually I'm going to be joined by Dr. Adam Levy.
Climate change can be overwhelming, but talking about it with me isn't. I'm Adam, a climate scientist with a PhD from Oxford, sharing what you need to know about climate change. Well, every bit of warming is caused by every bit of emissions, so that means that every bit of emissions that we can avoid also saves lives.
But your next teacher, the founder of E-Collective, is someone who's already making this topic so much more approachable for businesses and for travel professionals.
When it comes to buying a holiday, each year is typically going to be the item you bought in that year that has the highest carbon footprint, higher than all the meals you ate that year, higher than perhaps all the car journeys you took. It obviously depends on every single person and the holiday you go on. So this is why there's a huge need for us as an industry to start taking action to reduce emissions year on year on year.
There's a saying that the answer is soil. It doesn't matter what the question is. And that's true. So there are 1 trillion tons of carbon dioxide put in the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution. And that excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is like a duvet, a comforter, just trapping heat and baking the planet everywhere. So we've got to draw down that excess CO2 that human malpractice has put into the atmosphere. And I've talked before about how plants, that's what they do for a living. Plants draw CO2 down from the atmosphere. Plants have been able to take 5,000 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere back before the dawn of life as we know it, and bring it down to 270 parts per million, which is where we were at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution.
Now this chart shows the greenhouse gas emissions from producing 1 kilogram of some common foods. In other words, it shows how much those foods contribute to global climate change. Nothing will benefit human health and increase chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian-based diet.